Emma woke to a sunrise that brought no comfort. Standing by her window, she clutched a letter that upended her world. The family business, built over decades, was now bankrupt, wiped out in a single stroke. "How could this happen?" she murmured, her voice quivering with disbelief as her mind raced through the past few months. Her father's sudden illness, secretive deals, and relentless creditor pressure. She never imagined that the foundation of her family's legacy would crumble so fast. A knock at the door snapped her out of her thoughts. Jack stood there, his face set in an emotionless mask. "You need to leave," he said flatly. Emma's eyes searched his face for any hint of the man she once loved. "Jack, this is our home. Our life," she pleaded, her voice cracking. But his gaze remained distant. "Your family's debts are dragging me down. I can't let you pull me into your mess," he replied sharply. Emma's heart broke as Jack turned away without a backward glance, his footsteps echoing through the grand hall that now felt empty. Dropping to her knees under the weight of betrayal, she wondered how he could abandon her after all they'd promised each other. "Please, don't do this," Emma sobbed, but her pleas were lost in the silence as Jack's voice rang out from the hallway, instructing the staff to pack her things. Piece by piece, her life was being dismantled into boxes and memories. As she watched everything collapse, Emma realized she was utterly alone. Yet, amid the ruins of her shattered legacy, a quiet determination began to kindle. She would survive this. She would find a way to rise again, though first she had to face the darkness ahead. Outside the home she once called hers, the chilly wind stung her cheeks. With a battered suitcase in hand, Emma watched the massive gates of her former life close behind her, both a literal and figurative barrier. The sting of Jack's betrayal cut deep, like a knife through her heart. Suddenly, her phone buzzed. A news alert flashed on the screen. Days of the Thompson Empire over as family bankrupt. Her breath caught as she scrolled through the article, seeing photos of Jack laughing with Bella by his side, smiling, moving on, as if she had never existed. A hot surge of anger burned within her. How could he replace her so easily? And with Bella, her so-called friend who had once comforted her during family troubles. The betrayal felt like poison in her veins. Emma's hands trembled as she read mocking comments online, people calling her a burden. Tears burned her eyes, yet she refused to let them fall. She wouldn't give the world the satisfaction of seeing her break. A familiar voice interrupted her spiraling thoughts. "Emma, what are you doing here?" Zoe appeared, her eyes wide with worry. Seeing her only true friend, Emma's determination faltered. "He kicked me out," she choked, pain heavy in every word. Zoe's face darkened. "That jerk. I always knew he was cold, but this is unforgivable." Zoe pulled Emma into a tight hug, and as Emma's tears finally flowed, a cold realization settled in. Jack and Bella had planned this together. They had ruined her life and her family, and now they were flaunting their victory. "They'll regret underestimating me," Emma vowed softly. This was not the end. It was only the beginning. Emma wandered the streets with her suitcase trailing behind her as the sun set, dyeing the sky with soft pinks and oranges that contrasted sharply with her inner darkness. She had nowhere to turn. Her family's wealth was gone, along with her status and friends. She reached out to old acquaintances, begging for a place to stay, but each one turned her away with cold voices. "I'm sorry, Emma. We can't help you. We can't be mixed up in your family scandal." One after another, they dismissed her, just as Jack had. Overwhelmed with desperation, she sank onto a park bench, hugging her suitcase for a semblance of comfort. The bitter night air did little to ward off the chill, and her growling stomach reminded her painfully how long it had been since she'd eaten. But hunger was nothing compared to the emptiness in her heart as she shivered alone in the dark. Her mind replayed every moment that had led to her downfall, the sharp memories like daggers in her soul. She saw her father's regretful face before he passed away, leaving her alone to face this nightmare. She could almost hear his voice urging her to be strong, to fight back. But how could she fight when everything was gone? A tear escaped as the weight of her loss nearly crushed her. She had nothing left, No money, no family, no home. The world had turned its back on her, just like Jack. Yet as the night grew colder, a spark of determination flickered inside her. As long as she was breathing, there was a chance to rebuild, to fight back. She would not let them break her, neither Jack, nor Bella, nor the cruel world that had abandoned her. Clenching her fists, Emma vowed to herself that she would survive, rise from the ashes of her ruined life, and reclaim everything that had been stolen from her, even if it took her last breath. In the weeks that followed, Emma struggled day by day. She moved from one temporary shelter to another, doing odd jobs just to buy food. Her body ached with exhaustion, but she pushed through, refusing to succumb to despair. One grueling day, she felt a small flutter in her belly. Startled, she placed her hand on her stomach as a rush of shock hit her. "No, no, no," she whispered, her voice trembling with fear. Panic surged. How could she be expecting a child when she had nothing to offer? But as her hand rested on her belly, a gentle warmth spread, easing her terror. This baby was her blood, her hope. With tears welling up, she cradled her stomach. "I promise, I won't let anyone hurt you," she whispered, her voice both fierce and protective. Determined to shield her secret, Emma decided to keep her pregnancy hidden. She couldn't trust anyone, not even Zoe. If Jack ever found out, he might try to snatch her child away, and she would never allow that. Her days became a blur of work and exhaustion as her body grew weaker with each passing day. Every day was a battle for survival, but now she was fighting not just for herself, but for her unborn child. As months went by, Emma learned to disguise her bump under oversized clothes. Despite the hardship, there were quiet moments of joy late at night when she whispered sweet words to her baby, filling herself with love and hope. "You're my miracle." In those moments, she found the strength to keep fighting. No longer just a betrayed woman, Emma had transformed into a devoted mother willing to do anything to protect her child. Her body ached as she scrubbed floors and washed dishes in a small, dim diner. Her swollen belly was hidden beneath loose clothing, her hands raw and blistered. But she gritted her teeth and powered through, knowing that she couldn't afford to rest when her child's future depended on her. Every night, she collapsed on a tattered mattress in a cramped rented room. Her stomach rumbled painfully, yet she always prioritized her baby, saving every penny to build a better life. In the darkness, as she gently caressed her belly, she whispered, "You're my reason to fight. I promise I'll protect you, no matter what," even as tears threatened to fall. But she blinked them away, refusing to be defeated. Though Emma had been abandoned, humiliated, and left to fend for herself, she refused to let her child suffer the same fate. She was determined to rebuild her life from scratch, brick by brick, even if it meant enduring endless pain. She had lost everything, but she would not lose this fight. Over the weeks, as her strength grew alongside her baby bump, she learned to navigate the harsh world around her, her instincts sharpening with every new challenge. One evening, while cleaning tables at the diner, she was startled when Zoe, the friend who had once stood by her, stepped through the door. Emma's heart raced as she tried to hide, but Zoe's concerned eyes found her immediately. "Emma, what happened to you?" Zoe asked, her voice a mix of shock and worry. With tears streaming down her face, Emma whispered, "Life happened." Zoe pulled her into a tight embrace. "Why didn't you come to me? You don't have to face this alone," she said gently. Emma hesitated, covering her bump with a trembling hand. "I didn't want to be a burden," she murmured. Zoe smiled kindly. "You're never a burden. Come with me. I won't let you fight this alone." For the first time in months, Emma felt a glimmer of hope. With Zoe by her side, she believed she could keep fighting. Together, they began to rebuild her life piece by piece. Zoe offered Emma a small, cramped room in her modest apartment, a sanctuary compared to the unforgiving streets. In the evenings, as they talked about happier times, Emma allowed herself to smile again, even though the pain of betrayal still lingered. Often, she would wake in the middle of the night drenched in sweat, haunted by memories of Jack's cold eyes and Bella's mocking smile. "I trusted him. I loved him. She would confess in broken whispers. Zoe would hold her close, murmuring, "They took everything from you, but they can't take your strength. You're stronger than all of them." Wiping away her tears, Emma's fierce determination burned anew. Though she had lost so much, she knew that as long as she had her willpower, she could rise above the pain. Determined not to be defined by her circumstances, Emma set out to find work. It was during one of her job searches that she met Alex, a dynamic businessman who ran a successful company. Known for his sharp mind and relentless drive, Alex had a reputation that both intimidated and intrigued people. But when Emma met him, she saw a spark of genuine curiosity in his eyes. "You've got fire in you," he remarked. "Most people would crumble under the weight you carry, but you stand tall." Emma's jaw tightened as she replied steadily, "I don't have the luxury to fall apart." Alex's lips curled into a slight smile. "I like that. I could use someone like you." He offered her a job at his company, a lifeline she never expected. With her heart pounding, Emma accepted, seeing this as her chance to rebuild her life. Her first day at Alex's company was overwhelming. The office buzzed with activity, a sea of determined faces. This was a world Emma once knew, back when her family's empire thrived. Now, she was at the bottom, a novice among seasoned professionals. Judgmental eyes followed her as she walked through corridors in her secondhand clothes, a stark contrast to the designer suits of her colleagues. Yet, she held her head high, determined not to let insecurity hold her back. Alex introduced her to his team with authority. "This is Emma. She's new, but she has the potential to surpass every one of you." His challenging words sparked hope in her heart. Even when she doubted herself, someone believed in her. Emma was determined to prove Alex right. Step by step, she worked long hours, pouring her heart into every task. Her relentless drive wasn't just about work. It was her way of rising above the pain in her heart. She soaked up every lesson Alex taught her, and they often stayed late discussing strategies and analyzing competitors. "You're a fast learner," Alex noted one evening, his eyes softening. "You remind me of myself when I was starting out." Emma managed a small smile. "Maybe there's hope for me yet," she replied softly. Alex's expression turned warm. "You're more than hope, Emma. You're a force waiting to be unleashed." His words ignited a fire within her, and for the first time, she began to see herself as more than just a broken soul. No longer the woman Jack had left behind, Emma emerged stronger and more determined than ever. Every night, she stayed late at the office, poring over financial reports and strategy documents. She absorbed every detail about market trends, corporate alliances, and the harsh realities of competition. Her quick mind connected the dots faster than anyone expected, and Alex took notice. "You're becoming quite the strategist," he commented one evening as she scribbled notes furiously. Emma's eyes blazed with determination. "Knowledge is power, and I need all the power I can get." With every passing day, her resolve solidified. She was reclaiming what was rightfully hers, and she wouldn't stop until Jack and Bella paid for everything they had done. Alex's support bolstered her mission. "Just be careful, Emma," he warned, his tone mixing admiration with concern. Revenge is a double-edged sword. But Emma's determination was unshakable. "They didn't just take my money, they took my dignity and my family. I won't rest until they pay." Her first strike came when she exposed one of Jack's shady business deals to the press. The scandal rocked his empire, sending his stocks tumbling. Jack scrambled to control the damage, but Emma was always a step ahead, orchestrating a media frenzy that kept him on the defensive. Hidden in the shadows, she savored the panic in his eyes during a televised press conference as she whispered, "This is just the beginning." Yet Emma's revenge wasn't only about public humiliation. She wanted Jack and Bella to suffer in private, to feel the betrayal and isolation she had endured. Quietly, she began to plant seeds of doubt between them by leaking false information that sowed distrust. Slowly, the cracks in their once perfect partnership widened. Emma's retribution was ruthless and, in a way, poetic. Each calculated move was a reclaiming of her power. Still, deep down, her heart ached. She had once loved Jack and trusted him with her soul, but that man was gone, replaced by someone unrecognizable, and she was determined to make him pay for every tear, every lonely night. As Emma's business acumen sharpened, her new company started to flourish. She positioned her brand to directly compete with Jack's, offering superior products at competitive prices. For her, it wasn't just about money. It was about restoring her family's legacy. With Alex's guidance, she navigated the cutthroat market with precision, targeting Jack's most lucrative sectors. Her bold and disruptive strategies turned heads, and soon, whispers spread about a mysterious new competitor shaking up the industry. Though her name became the talk of the town, her true identity remained hidden, a shadow threatening Jack's crumbling empire. Then came the night that Emma finally got her chance to confront Jack. At an exclusive business gala, she made a stunning entrance in a sleek, tailored black dress that exuded confidence. Jack's eyes widened when he saw her. Intrigued by the familiar yet untouchable woman before him, he approached with a charming smile. "I don't think we've met," he said, extending his hand. Though her heart raced, Emma maintained her composure and replied coolly, "No, we haven't." When Jack tried to recall her name, Emma something, she offered a curt smile, leaving him none the wiser. He remarked on her impressive company growth, but Emma simply said, "I believe in taking what's mine." Beneath the surface, she was playing the long game, carefully watching every move he made while remaining unruffled. The night continued, and Emma navigated the room with deliberate elegance, her charm and wit captivating everyone. As she observed Jack's interactions, she took note of his allies and rivals alike. But the evening took an unexpected turn when she bumped into Bella, who was practically glued to Jack's arm, laughing in a way that reminded Emma of all the betrayal. Her heart tightened at the sight, but she masked her pain with indifference. Bella sneered, Well, the rising star? I've heard a lot about you." Meeting Bella's cold gaze, Emma calmly replied, "I believe in earning my success, not stealing it." Bella's smile faltered for a moment before she recovered, warning, "Careful, darling. Ambition could be dangerous." Emma simply smiled knowingly. "I don't make enemies. They make themselves." The tension was palpable as Bella's suspicion flashed briefly before she walked away, leaving Emma determined to continue her carefully laid plans. In the days following the gala, Emma's quest for justice took a darker turn. Digging deeper into her family's downfall, she was determined to expose the full truth behind it all. Hidden among old files and encrypted emails, she uncovered evidence of a conspiracy far more sinister than she had imagined. It turned out that her grandfather's death had not been an accident. It had been orchestrated. Jack and Bella, in cahoots with her father's trusted business partners, had manipulated finances and deals to force her family into bankruptcy. It wasn't merely about money. It was about power and revenge. The weight of betrayal was overwhelming, but Emma refused to break. "They didn't just ruin my family. They killed my father," she told Alex, her voice trembling with anger as she spread out the damning documents. Alex's eyes darkened as he saw the evidence, his jaw clenching. "They pushed him to his death, knowing he couldn't survive the disgrace," he growled. "They're monsters, and they'll pay." Emma's eyes hardened. "I need your help, Alex. I have to take them down." Alex's response was firm. "You have my support, whatever you need." For the first time in a long while, Emma felt hope. She wasn't alone in this fight. She had an ally equally determined to see justice done. Late into the night, they strategized, forging a bond through their shared pain and purpose. But Emma knew she couldn't let her guard down. Jack and Bella were dangerous, willing to do anything to protect their crumbling empire. She was ready, however, to expose their schemes and reclaim her family's honor, no matter what it took. Emma's plans slowly took shape. Instead of confronting Jack and Bella head-on, they were too powerful. She resolved to dismantle them from within. Using her position at Alex's company, she subtly manipulated market deals, undercutting Jack's business and diverting lucrative contracts to her own venture. Every move was calculated and precise. Her goal wasn't simply to defeat Jack, but to utterly destroy him, to force him to feel the helplessness she once endured. "It's time they learned what it feels like to lose everything," she told Alex, her voice icy. Alex watched her with both admiration and concern. "Just be careful, Emma. Revenge can cut both ways." But she was resolute. "They took everything from me, my wealth, my dignity, my family. I won't rest until they pay." Her first major strike came when she publicly exposed one of Jack's fraudulent deals. The scandal rocked his empire, and his stocks plummeted overnight. Jack desperately tried to control the fallout, but Emma was always a step ahead, sparking a media frenzy that kept him on the defensive. Hidden in the background, she savored the panic in his eyes during a live press conference, murmuring to herself, "This is only the beginning." Yet Emma wasn't content with just public humiliation. She wanted Jack and Bella to suffer in private, to feel the betrayal and isolation she had endured. Quietly, she sowed seeds of mistrust between them by leaking false information, causing suspicion and paranoia to creep into their relationship. Their once solid alliance began to crack. Emma's vengeance was both ruthless and, in a strange way, poetic. Each precise move reclaimed a bit more of her power. But beneath the hard exterior, her heart still ached. She had once loved Jack, trusted him with everything, but that man was gone, replaced by a stranger. And she would stop at nothing to make him pay. As the days passed, Emma's business smarts grew sharper. Her company began to rise, and she positioned her brand to directly challenge Jack's, offering better products at fair prices. For Emma, it wasn't merely about profit. It was about restoring her family's legacy. With Alex's guidance, she navigated the cutthroat market, targeting Jack's most profitable sectors. Her bold, disruptive strategies made waves in the industry, and soon, whispers spread of a mysterious new competitor shaking up the field. Though her name was on everyone's lips, she kept her true identity under wraps, a silent threat to Jack's faltering empire. Then, unexpectedly, the moment to face Jack arrived. At a high-end business gala, Emma made a striking entrance in a sleek black dress. Her confidence lit up the room, and when Jack saw her, his eyes widened in surprise. Intrigued by the woman before him, familiar yet untouchable, he approached with a tentative smile. "I don't believe we've met before," he said, extending his hand. Though her heart pounded, Emma kept her cool. "No, we haven't," she replied, her tone calm and collected. Jack tried to recall her name, but she left him guessing, adding only a cryptic remark about taking what's rightfully mine. Beneath the polite conversation, Emma was silently strategizing, carefully watching every move he made. The evening unfolded, and Emma navigated the gala with poise and charm. She kept a keen eye on Jack, observing his interactions and noting who his allies were. But the night took an unexpected turn when she encountered Bella, who clung to Jack's side and laughed in an overly dramatic way. The sight brought back painful memories of betrayal, but Emma maintained a stoic expression. Well, the star of the show," Bella drawled, her tone laced with disdain. Meeting Bella's icy gaze, Emma replied evenly, "I prefer to earn my success rather than take it from others." Bella's smile faltered momentarily before she recovered, warning, "Be careful, dear. Ambition can be dangerous." Emma simply smiled knowingly. "I don't make enemies. They come looking for you," she said, leaving the tension hanging in the air as Bella quickly walked away. In the days following the gala, Emma's quest for justice turned darker. Determined to uncover the full truth behind her family's ruin, she dug deep into old files and encrypted emails. What she discovered shook her to the core. Her grandfather's death had not been an accident. Jack and Bella, in collusion with trusted partners from her father's company, had deliberately manipulated finances and deals to force her family into bankruptcy. It wasn't just about money. It was a ruthless bid for power and revenge. The weight of betrayal nearly broke her, but Emma refused to give in. "They didn't just ruin my family. They killed my father," she told Alex, her voice trembling with fury as she spread the incriminating documents across his desk. Alex's eyes darkened as he scanned the evidence, his fist clenching. "They pushed him to death, Knowing he couldn't handle the disgrace, he said bitterly, "They're monsters, and they'll pay." Emma's voice hardened. "I need your help, Alex. We're taking him down." With unwavering support, Alex promised, "You have my full backing." For the first time in a long while, Emma felt hopeful. She wasn't alone. She had an ally who shared her desire for justice. Late into the night, they strategized together, forging a bond through shared pain and purpose. Yet, Emma knew better than to lower her guard. Jack and Bella were dangerous, and they would do anything to protect their crumbling empire. But she was ready to expose their schemes and reclaim her family's honor at any cost. Emma's carefully crafted plan began to take shape. Instead of confronting Jack and Bella directly, they were too powerful. She chose to dismantle them from within. Posing as an ambitious investor, she infiltrated Jack's business circle through Alex's company. Her charm and intelligence quickly earned her Jack's trust, and she attended every meeting, absorbing his strategies and identifying his weaknesses. It was a delicate game of deception, one she played with precision, mirroring his confidence and wit while secretly plotting his downfall. Jack, completely taken in by her charisma, remarked one evening, "You're quite the strategist, Emma." She replied with a sly smile, "I believe in playing the long game." Every encounter with Jack tested her self-control, and while she often fought the urge to expose his betrayal immediately, she knew patience was key. Then, during a business luncheon, she met Bella again. Bella's smug arrogance was a stark reminder of the pain she had inflicted, and though Emma struggled to keep her emotions in check, she remained cool. "You've made quite a name for yourself," Bella sneered, to which Emma replied evenly, "I earn my success, I don't steal it." For a brief moment, Bella's expression faltered, but she quickly masked her feelings. Emma held her gaze steadily, unwilling to back down in what she now considered her battlefield. Emma's undercover efforts began to pay off. Jack's empire showed signs of crumbling as she subtly sabotaged his deals and redirected key clients to her own company. Her moves were a calculated dance of deception, and as Jack's business began to falter, his personal life unraveled too. Cracks appeared in his relationship with Bella, growing wider each day. Emma had cleverly sown distrust between them by feeding Bella false information about Jack's loyalty. Their arguments grew volatile, and during one heated confrontation in Jack's office, Bella accused him of secrecy and infidelity. "You've been so distant. Are you seeing someone else?" she snapped. Jack, exasperated, retorted, "You're just paranoid, Bella. Stop being insecure." Emma listened in, her heart cold and determined. Their once powerful alliance was crumbling under the weight of their own lies, and Emma relished every moment of their unraveling. As Jack's empire crumbled, his confidence gave way to desperation. His business losses mounted, his reputation shattered, and his allies began to desert him. Rumors of his impending bankruptcy spread like wildfire, fueled by Emma's strategic leaks. She watched from the shadows as his world collapsed, his power and influence slipping away. Jack, once so formidable, had become a shadow of his former self, his arrogance replaced by panic and fear. "This can't be happening," he muttered, pacing his office in distress. She had finally found peace. She had reclaimed her life, her legacy, and her happiness. No longer defined by her past, she was free, whole, and ready to embrace the future. And for the first time in years, Emma truly smiled. At the grand opening of her new venture, a company built on integrity, resilience, and vision, the atmosphere was electric. The crowd buzzed with excitement as she took the stage, confident and graceful. Among the audience were business leaders, investors, friends, and family. Alex's eyes shone with pride, and her children beamed with admiration. This wasn't just a business launch. It was the culmination of her journey, her rebirth from ashes to triumph. Emma addressed the crowd with clarity and strength. "We celebrate the strength to rise above pain, to rebuild from ruins, and to create a legacy rooted in truth." The applause was thunderous, yet the greatest victory was the inner peace she had found. After the ceremony, Alex approached her warmly. You did it, Emma. You turned pain into power. Emma smiled softly. I didn't do it alone. You believed in me, even when I couldn't believe in myself. Alex's expression turned tender. I meant every word when I said I love you. I'll always be here, no matter what. Emma's heart raced as she replied. I was scared to love again, but you taught me to trust and hope. I love you too. Their embrace was filled with laughter and tears, marking a new beginning built on love, trust, and a shared future. Standing at her restored family estate, surrounded by vibrant gardens and timeless architecture, Emma felt a deep sense of nostalgia. This wasn't just property. It was her legacy, her identity, and her place in a long line of strength and honor. As she walked through the halls, memories flooded back, and her heart swelled with pride, knowing she had preserved her family's history while paving the way for a brighter future. Leo and Chloe ran toward her, their faces lit with joy. Mom, this place is amazing, Chloe exclaimed in wonder. Emma smiled through tears. This is your heritage, a reminder that no matter what life takes from you, you can always rebuild. Standing together, Alex joined them, softly saying, You've come full circle. Emma looked at him with gratitude. I reclaimed more than my legacy. I reclaimed my strength, my peace, and even my heart. I found love again. Turning to her children, she added gently, I discovered a purpose greater than revenge. I found the courage to forgive, to live, and to love. Leo's small hand squeezed hers. Does that mean we're staying here forever? He asked. Emma's laughter was warm and joyful as she replied, It means we're finally home. Alex kissed her forehead. Then let's make our future beautiful together. They stood on the threshold of a new life, a life built on resilience, love, and hope. Emma had reclaimed her legacy, but more importantly, she had reclaimed herself. No longer defined by betrayal or pain, she was reborn, a mother, a lover, a fighter, and her journey was only just beginning. A final verse from Scripture echoed the theme of her story. Though they devised schemes against you, they cannot succeed, for you have overcome through faith and perseverance. And the moral was clear. No matter how deep the betrayal or how great the loss, true strength lies in rising above pain and choosing forgiveness over revenge. It is through resilience, integrity, and love that one truly overcomes adversity. When you let go of bitterness and embrace hope, you reclaim not just your legacy, but also your peace and happiness. What do you take away from this story? Feel free to share your thoughts, leave a like, and spread the message with someone who might need it. Thank you.